So my name is Nils Favre. I'm from Switzerland. I'm 29 and I'm a climber. I climb most of the time and in really different type of climbing. That's interesting. Honestly, I started when I was a kid, really young with my dad. He was a climber, even kind of a good climber for that time. He was able to climb 7C barefoot in the past, so was kind of a good climber in the south of France. And he bought a lot of routes, so I was born with climbing. I really always climb with my dad, even when I was really little, top rope, doing upside and everything. So I climbed with my dad for years, and I never inside. My dad didn't like the gym at all, didn't like the competition at all. So it was just passion, climbing outside a lot of six for years. I only climbed on sixth grade to try to onside them and to just enjoy it, to have a nice day outside. A bit of multi-pitch with him too when I was a kid. Yeah, that's how I started. It's my dad, definitely. Yeah, but really late. I didn't. It's funny because I had one competition when I was a kid, around 10, and I was kind of the strongest, and I made a mistake in the final, and then I was second, and I was pretty frustrated. I was a kid, I didn't know, and I didn't enjoy so much that day because I was supposed to win, and then it was stressful, and I didn't like to climb with the stress. So I say I don't want to climb, and I almost stopped to climb for maybe 1 year, from 10 to 11. And then my dad said, yeah, forget about it. We just do some multi-pitch, really easy, 5, 6, 7 multi-pitch. And then I climbed with him. And then when I moved to Switzerland, because it was in France in the past, when I moved to Switzerland, and I met some people really motivated to do lead and bouldering, only outside. Some people, they went to the gym, but for me, never. I didn't like to go in the climbing gym. So I just climbed outside until 20 years, I think. And I did, already maybe 8C route when I was 16, 17. Then I started bouldering. And I think my first competition was a Swiss championship. And I think I was 22 or 23. So it's really late for nowadays. And I think I did podium directly at that comp, or Swiss championship. So then I was qualified directly with the Swiss team, and then I directly started the World Cup. It's how I get into the comp. Yeah, I'm still competing. No, I'm still competing. Now with COVID it was complicated, but this year my plan was to compete a lot. I trained a lot the two last winter. My plan was to do really good 2020 season, and then everything was cancelled, and I trained a lot and kind of sacrificed some outside day for that. But yeah, and then it was 2021, and I was like, okay, let's use that training for 2021. And I had a really good start in Klagenfurt, where I did a podium, a second place in the European Cup in Klagenfurt. So I was really psyched, and then I had just a bad mental game in Meiringen. So I was like, oh, I felt really strong, but I just missed a few moves, and then in bouldering comps, it goes really fast to good to bad. So I kind of missed a little bit Meiringen, and then I went to Salt Lake City. I was qualified for Salt Lake City, the two comp, and I did the first World Cup, but I felt sick a little, and I didn't know why. And after the first World Cup, we had to do one more test. I was tested 2 days ago for COVID, and I was negative. But after this first comp, I felt also sick, but I wasn't sure. But then I was positive to COVID in Salt Lake City. So yeah, I couldn't compete on the next one, and I knew why I was tired. So I went to the US to be sick at what comp and not able to climb the second one. So it was a bit of a disaster for the full season. And now I'm here for this really cool event with Red Bull Creepers in Avila. So it's a deep water solo comp over a bridge. And then there is Innsbruck. I'm really psyched for Innsbruck, but I still feel I'm not totally recovered from COVID. I feel okay, but I still feel really tired after my training session. I'm not able to train as hard as I was in the past. I feel that if I do one good day of training, I have to rest for 2-3 days. I feel to be really tired like that in the morning is something weird. For me, I'm a morning person, and to wake up and feel it's something really unusual for me, and it happened last week still. So I hope to try my best in Innsbruck, and now my priority will be to also be sure to be completely recovered, because comp is all the comps are really important for me, but I have also so many projects outside, in multi-pitch, in lead, in bouldering, and I would prefer to even miss a few comps or even project, but be able to be fit again and be sure to be totally recovered from COVID to try that. The thing is that also I got tested so many times, the weeks before, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 tests. Every 2-3 days I was tested, and I think all the Swiss team and myself, we were really really careful. We took that seriously. We wore the mask all the time. We didn't even go in a restaurant in Salt Lake City. We tried to stay only the Swiss team together, so we were pretty careful about it. And when I got it, I was really surprised. I mean, I wasn't so surprised because I felt a bit sick, so I was I mean, nowadays when you feel sick, you directly think to COVID. So I was like, maybe I have it, but for me it was impossible that I have it. Like I'm young, I'm strong, I'm being really careful. It was not something obvious for me. But then, first I was so disappointed, like for the comp, because for sure I train a lot and also like to travel to the US, everything. I was like, but then I realized also how big it was for the event, like for the next World Cup the week after, like all the people I met, like are they allowed to compete or not? Are they going to make the event or not? And I was sick alone, like completely alone in one apartment, and I had some call with Marco Scolaris, like the president of the IFSC, and then like the health department of Salt Lake City, and like my trainer, like some friend from the comp. And at first they wanted to keep it a bit secret to have time to deal with the situation. And for me, I was sick alone with many really important calls, and what I was saying was like really important, like for the comp and everything. So it was really stressful. I have a really kind of bad memory of that trip. Like it was really, really stressful. I was sick, but then I was kind of lucky with the rules, and I felt better. And like a doctor told me I can come back to Switzerland, so at least I could come back to Switzerland and take a bit more time in Switzerland. But yeah, that was pretty unexpected and really big. Like not only for me, but for all the people around, and also the Swiss team got like they had to do quarantine. So I had two friends, they came to Salt Lake City, like two friends, but like also team partner. They flew to Salt Lake City, and then they had to stay in the hotel, they went quarantine. So you feel a bit guilty, but at the same time, I know, like honestly, more than 100% that I did everything I could before. And then I was completely honest with what I said to the health department too. So now I feel really okay. I was just kind of the unlucky one, and yeah, I don't want to use bad word, but yeah, it was hard and yeah, just really unlucky. No, that's a bit surprising because the 2-3 days before I got the result that I was positive, we were living in 2 apartments, but we share some meal, we go to the training together, we even took some Uber together. So we were really careful, but still we were living together, so we were waiting that they will also be positive, and then they will have to stay even longer. But finally I was the only one positive, sorry, and just Petra could compete on the second one because she was already fully vaccinated. Yeah, that's a bit surprising, and I think maybe I even got this COVID before to take the plane, because I was sick during the plane to go. I had to throw up, and I was pretty sure it was food poisoning, but I got tested like one day before, and afterward also all the people I met in Switzerland, they got tested for different reasons. Like my girlfriend, for example, like she didn't get positive, so I still don't know if it's in the airport, if it's just before, if it's like really unlikely. If I got it, but then I'm not a spreader, you know, like you can spread the virus a lot or not. Maybe I got positive, but then I'm not really able to really spread it, so it's why the people around me didn't get positive. But yeah, I was the only one finally. Yeah, I think I came like from the outside climbing, like I said, like a lot of lead and then some multi-pitch with my dad when I was a kid. Then when I started to do some 8C route, I decided to do more bouldering to be able to do harder routes, lead, but I still keep doing some multi-pitch, but not so hard. That was not the main goal. But then I compete also. But I always keep like this foot into outside climbing and all this discipline, and I think I got this etiquette or this patch of I'm a boulderer because I was competing in the World Cups in bouldering, and I did some hard boulder like until 8C boulders, so people like kind of get to know me via the social media for bouldering. But sometimes I was doing a lot of lead and even multi-pitch, but maybe I was also, it's a bit easier to share that with the people. So for me it was easier to like share a bouldering picture, video picture, but then to have like picture in multi-pitch was a bit harder. So I think people really put me an etiquette of boulderer, but for sure I consider myself more like an all-rounder because I do every year like some multi-pitch, and for sure like this route in Paciencia was in the Eiger, the north face of the Eiger. I did that route Paciencia, and yeah, for me it was a really big dream. I mean, I always wanted to do this north face of the Eiger, and then I read a lot of story when I was younger, like it's the hardest route of the Eiger, it's like so exposed, so dangerous, and I was like, wow, if one day I will be able to do that, it would be really, really cool. So I always got this idea, but I had to find the right partner, the right timing. It was pretty hard to go there. And yeah, finally I found a good partner and a good window weather. So we just decided to go. And that year I did quite a lot of multi-pitch before, so I was really ready for that. It's not that I didn't train and I just did it. I think you can't like just go in the north face of the Eiger like that and say, oh yeah, I will climb it. And it's so much like logistic with the bag, to hold the bag and like to sleep in the wall. So yeah, for me that was really big, but that was such a big dream that I fought a lot for it. And then we were a bit surprised. To be honest, I didn't expect that we will kind of send the route. I was like, I want to go try and see. I was even ready to go down because it's too dangerous or too scary. Maybe I will be scared even. And yeah, finally I have a lot of experience. Like also I did a lot of eyeball. I did a lot of like trad climbing with a few friends, like on granites, on multi-pitch too. So I'm used to be on that terrain. So finally, and like the difficulty of the climb, for sure it's hard. It's hard because you're really tired because you do a lot of things, but I definitely have the ability to climb that kind of difficulty. So for me it was more all the thing around which were really challenging and hard. And yeah, we got lost, for example, at the end. We had like only 360 pitches. I even like text my girlfriend like, oh, we are at the summit, we have just 360, easy to go. And it was like 7 in the evening. But then the fog arrived, the night arrived, we couldn't find the route because like we didn't find, like on 60 pitches, sometimes it's even harder than 8A because there is no board and it's at the top of the Eiger, so the rocks start to be really loose and you have to be really careful. We didn't know where to go. It started to be like with the fog, the night. And finally, like to 3-pitch, we spent like more than 4 hours and we arrived like after midnight, the second day. That was like big experience. For me, it's, I know I have really good memories of bouldering, really good memories of competition, of lead, but these 3 days on the Eiger for me will stay, I think, really high on the list for a long time. It's, I think, maybe even one of my proudest ascents until now. It's funny because like, I mean, I'm a climber, I'm an athlete, I'm also a professional climber, so I work with sponsors, so I have to plan my year, what I do, what I don't do. And I think I really have some dream on each of this category. Like I have some boulders that, I mean, we never know what's gonna happen in life, but I feel that I will do them, or not do them, but I will try them. I will go to try and really try hard on them. But the same in lead, the same in multi-pitch. I have like small dreams a bit everywhere, and I have to figure out how to manage to do all that. But I don't think I have something that I even really prefer. I think I really like to change also because it's new again, it's different. But yeah, for sure I have like some big project in multi-pitch, some big project in bouldering, and like also deep water solo. It's something I did like for quite a long time now, and I have like a few lines that I dream like I was 10 and I was dreaming about it, and I'm still working on that. Like every year I go to Mallorca and I try some routes there, and yeah, let's see if I will be able to do it or not. But I think it's what kept me climbing even, is like to have dreams a bit everywhere. And for example, this winter I spent like more than 3 months in Ticino for bouldering, and it was really cool, and I was like excited like every day to go outside, even to brush new lines, to do a lot. But then as soon as I came back to the competition or even like to do lead climbing, I was like so excited again that I was like, oh, okay, I think now for bouldering I'm done for a while. And I don't feel that I quit bouldering, but I just like, oh, I do something else and I will just come back, because I think I will like say about myself that I'm just really passionate about climbing. And it's not, I have this dream which helped me to be really motivated and like motivated to train and to push myself really hard, but it's more like to do something that I like. It's more just climbing. Well, I think it's a big question. I will maybe answer that for me it doesn't change so much. I think it's more money and more visibility for climbing in general. So I think there are a lot of good aspects, especially for the people really motivated for competition, and yeah, and to go on that way to the Olympics, to do a lot of competition, it's nice. But I know that if I have kids or if I have some young people and I have to speak with them, I will try to really inspire them or like motivate them with my experience of be open of climbing and not be kind of close to I want to be national champion and then European champion and then I know maybe climb a bit outside sometimes, but more like just open. Like it's so cool to have a dream to be Olympic. For me, it's so cool. Like I didn't pretend to go to the Olympic in any case, mostly because of speed, but also because they were only 20. It was really hard to go. I didn't pretend to go to the Olympics, but if I will like put my mind like, oh, it will be really cool, I could have done it too. Like it's something that I understand. Like people are really psyched for that, and I don't think it's bad at all. But what I like in climbing is like to be really open to, if you have this in mind, just go for it 100%. Like if kids now tell me like I want to do Olympic champion, I would say just go 100%, and that's cool. But maybe just don't forget that, keep your mind open, because climbing is not only that. Like to be an Olympic champion is, I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's probably like so cool and nice for everything. But there is not only that in climbing. Like you can do a lot of things, and also alone or just with one person. I think it's something that maybe we forget a little bit with also the social media and the comp, is that it's always something that we do that we can show a little. Like if we do something that now climber, like especially pro climber, and like for the kids, I think they watch only like, or always pro climber, and they see like, oh, they do that, but then they have the video, the post Instagram, the story, and it's kind of, you do something and you show it. It's something really normal. But for me in the past, like it wasn't normal at all. Like just to film myself was something really weird in the past. It's not so normal to film, but nowadays it's completely normal. And I think it's, yeah, I would say that to the kids too, is that you go to a comp, you try to be a world champion, you try to do the north face of the Eiger, you try to do this, try to really understand why you do it, and if the answer is like inside you, then you will stay longer in climbing and really enjoy everything. But if it's just to show, maybe be careful, because life is complicated, comp are complicated, projects are complicated. You can be really strong, really prepared, like everything. You go to the Eiger, you have the bad weather, and you have a rock fall, and you don't do it. You are like you won 3 World Cup in a row, and then you will do 50 on the next one. Like everything is possible in climbing. So if you don't have this thing really inside, I think it's hard to keep climbing and be passionate for so long. That will be kind of my message. Honestly, like I expect to have a lot of fun, and this morning we had the chance to try one time the route, and I felt like really excited, like even nervous to climb that bridge, even if I did like many deep water soloing, like way higher or more dangerous or harder, but still I felt nervous and really like motivated to climb that bridge, and just to be at the top, to ring the bell and jump down. It was such a good feeling. I was really happy about that morning session, and I can't wait to climb tomorrow. I kind of hope that I will be able to climb many times, so it means to go a bit further in the comp. Like this, I have the chance to climb more times the bridge, but my main goal is like to enjoy the most as possible and to have fun on that bridge.